Did you know that gambling is as ancient as our civilization? Come on, let's talk about gambling in ancient Greece. When we talk about gambling, usually our mind goes to casinos, roulette, lottery. And although a Greek minister said that a casino which is under construction in Athens will be the new Parthenon, the Greeks used to play in a much simpler and less posh fashion. One reason for this is given by Aristotle. He says that amusement is for the sake of relaxation, and relaxation must necessarily be pleasant, since it is a kind of cure for the ills we suffer working hard. One of the earliest mentions to gambling belongs to Homer, who describes that lots were drawn from helmets on several occasions, as when Ajax drew lots to face Hector in battle. Furthermore, in Odyssey, he unfolds that Penelope's suitors found amusement in playing board games. In later periods, such games were further developed. Maybe the most frequently mentioned by historians is ankles or knuckles, or in Greek, astragali. It has been one of the most popular children's games from antiquity to recent times. The game takes its name from the knuckle bones, taken from the hind feet of goats or sheep. The game was played as follows. The children dropped the knuckles, usually 4 altogether, and depending on which side touched the ground, they would get the corresponding points. The wide convex side was worth 4 points, while the wide concave side was equal to 3 points. The narrower sides were worth 6 points for the least stable and 1 point for the opposite. Each of the 35 possible combinations had a special name, for example, Euripides, Alexander, etc. The best toss was when each knucklebone had a different position than the others, and it was called Aphrodite. In contrast, the worst toss was called Kion, or simply the dog. Another game played with the knuckles was called Artiazin Astragalus, what is called odd or even nowadays. One player hit the knuckles inside his fist, and the other players were trying to guess whether the number of knuckles were odd or even. And now, let's see some hardcore ancient gambling. The game of kivi, or cubes, or dice, presents an evolution of the knuckle bones. Its invention is attributed to Palamedes, king of Euboea, who taught it to the Greeks during the War of Troy. As everybody knows, the dice has 6 equal flat sides, and each one has a different number on it, from 1 to 6. Hence, the game of dice is exclusively based on luck. Again, the best toss, rolling 2 6 sides, was called the throw of Aphrodite. Stephen Kidd of Brown University argues that although kivia owes its name to the cubic dice, it became a metonymy, meaning gambling in general. One can kivevin, gamble, without the use of cubes or dice. It can be spinning coins, guessing about small objects hidden in the hand, or even betting during a cockfight. Last, dicing away became a popular expression meaning irresponsible spending. Another game was Pessi. It was more a chess-style board game than a fortune one. It was played on boards of varying sizes, with black and white stones initially lined up on opposite sides. The objective was to capture or immobilize the opponent's stones, which is called Pessi, by sandwiching them between 2 others. The famous Exekias amphora, now exposed in a museum in Germany, is picturing Achilles and Ajax playing Pessi under the inscription Achilles 4, Ajax 3. So far so good, but what was the perception of gambling and games of chance in ancient Greece? From what we know, they were not always viewed favorably. Xenophon, when mentioning dicing, said it was a bad thing. People could lose fortunes in gambling the same way that they do today. However, in ancient Greece, gamblers believed that some gods, like Hermes or Pan, controlled the games, so it was not based on luck, but on God's will. Take this for example, King of Egypt, Ptolemy, one of Alexander's generals. When his advisors stood by him to read the names of guilty people, he would toss the dice to decide which of them deserved the death penalty. When his wife, Princess Berenice, heard about his method, she complained to him. When one is making calculations about a man's life, she wondered, why not apply logic and interest instead of playing a game? Ptolemy admired his wife's thought and decided to never again judge convicts while playing at dice. Edward Francis Burney was inspired by that story, and in the late 18th century he gave us a wonderful drawing which now is displayed at the Met. It is really surprising how many things remain the same for us through time, isn't it?